Guys and gals, Mr. Barker here. I'm going to take a moment here and go over how I want you all to set up the cover page for your Quickwrite journals. So if we haven't talked about it yet in class, this year we're not going to be doing journaling in notebooks, the old school style of things. We're going to be doing all of our Quickwrite journalings in Google Slides. In the age of COVID, I want to try to keep things as hygienic as possible. I want us to try to keep from touching as much stuff as possible. And so I think doing our journaling in Google Slides this way is going to be really just better, more clean. It's going to be easier to keep up with everything. And I think it'll be pretty fun too. All right. So the cover letter, the cover page, I should say, of your Quickwrite journal is going to be something that some parts, everybody's looks the same, but there is going to be a chance for you to kind of personalize it to reflect your personality and who you are, what your interests are, your hobbies, things like that. So real quick, let's go over here what I want you guys to do. So first off, where I have name, obviously highlight that and type in your name. Then you go down here where it says class. You're going to type in Mr. Barker's English class. Where it says period, for the sake of an example, I'm going to say first period, whatever class period you have me for. And then lastly, school year, you're going to put 2020 through 21. Now take notice of this bulletin here. You're going to delete it here in a moment, but let's make sure we all see it and we all understand what it says and we all follow this instruction here. Do not alter the font or the placement of the above info. So what that means is once you have this typed, do not change it, do not mess with it, do not move it, leave it alone for the rest of the year. That means the font is going to stay the same, the size is going to stay the same, the colors are going to stay the same, and you're not going to move this around the different parts of the slide. This is going to stay right here just like this for the rest of the year. Everyone's needs to look uniform and look neat, and I don't want you guys messing with that. Okay, so once you have your name, my class period, in the school year, feel free to click on that and delete that bulletin. Now over here in the top right corner, let's take note of this bulletin. Do not alter the font or the placement of the above info. So once again, this little box here is going to stay put. It's not going to be changed. You're not going to change the fonts. You're not going to change the colors. You're not going to move it. You're not going to delete it. This is going to be here for the rest of the year. These are the expectations that I am going to, put on you for each Quickwrite that you do for me over the year. And these are going to be the things that I look at as I score these. So first off, all responses must be in CSRQ format when applicable. All right, so CSRQ format, if we haven't already talked about it in class, is complete sentence, restate the question. And whenever it's possible, whenever it fits, whenever it works, I want you to always try to respond in CSRQ. That's going to ensure that you're writing in complete sentences, and it's just going to make your writing sound more fluid. It's going to make it sound more natural. It's going to make it sound more academic. It's going to make it sound better overall. All right, so when applicable, always use CSRQ format. Secondly, use spell check to correct all mistakes before submitting. So if you have anything underlined in your writing that's underlined, red, green, blue, purple, whatever, right-click that word and then select the correct phrasing or the correct word or the correct spelling, whatever. Okay, don't turn in something that has a bunch of stuff underlined in those red squigglies because that is not your best work. You always want to turn in your best work possible. So always use spell check. Okay, take advantage of that. And then lastly, proofread for grammatical clarity and proper syntax. So before you turn something into me for me to score it, for me to read it, go through it and read it yourself once. And I always suggest reading it aloud to yourself because you'll catch mistakes more. You're more likely to catch mistakes, I should say, if you read it aloud than if you just, skim it silently to yourself. So proofread for grammatical clarity, okay, meaning that you're using, proper grammar, and for proper syntax. That means that the sentence structure is fluid, is natural, okay? It sounds like you. It sounds like conversational. It doesn't sound like a caveman is speaking, but it sounds natural. So you want to make sure that your writing sounds natural, that it sounds fluid, that it's understandable. So always proofread your work aloud before you submit, okay? So once again, this expectations box is going to stay here. Once you've familiarized yourself with that, feel free to delete that bulletin. Now to the fun part. You get to choose any background that you want. Okay, and this background should in some way, shape, or form reflect who you are as a person, your likes, your interests, your hobbies, things of that nature. So for me, I'm a huge reader. I love to read. I read every single morning for at least 45 minutes to an hour before going to school. I love spending time, on Amazon.com, adding books to my wish list. Back before COVID, I would try to go at least twice a month with my wife for date nights to Barnes and Noble or to used bookstores or to antique stores to go look at books. I love books. I love collecting them. I love reading them. I love books. So I want to have a background that, reflects my love of books. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go over here and I've already got it selected there. Library wallpaper. Very important that you use that term. Whatever you're looking for, sports wallpaper, football wallpaper, guitar wallpaper, anime wallpaper, look for wallpaper. That's going to get you the type of image that will look good as a background. Okay. And then if it gives you the option, always pick high resolution because that's going to look crisp. Now, one more little trick, go to settings and then go to, that's weird. Go back, actually. Go to advanced search, my bad. So go to settings and then click advanced search and then go down and always select large for your image size. That way you're not going to be selecting a picture that's too tiny. And so when you put it on your background, it looks blurry. This is going to ensure that you get a picture that's big enough to where it looks crisp and clear and it looks, like it's meant to be a wallpaper. So I'm scrolling through. I really like this one. So you're going to click the one you like, and then a quick and easy way that you can add this as a wallpaper without having to save anything to your Chromebook, right click it. So once you've enlarged the image, right click it, go to copy image address and click that. So right click, copy image address, then go back to your Quickwrite journal, your cover page, click background. Okay. So you click background and then go to choose image and then by URL. And all you're going to do here, right click, paste that URL that you just copied from the Google search, insert the image, bada boom, there it is. Doesn't that look neat? So once you have a nice, crisp, clear, kind of personalized wallpaper for your cover page, you should be good to go. But there is one more thing that I want you to do before we call it quits. I want you to save this into a Google Drive folder so that you don't lose it. So it's easy to access. So that each day when I tell you we're going to do a Quickwrite, you can quickly access your journal and add a new, prompt, a new page, a new slide to it. So go up here to the Google Drive folder, click on that, and then you're going to click New Folder. And then you're just going to name this new folder English. You can spell it English. Actually, let's call it English. Yeah, Mr. Barker 2020. Let's call it something like that. You can call it whatever you want as long as you know that it's your English class folder. Okay, I'm not going to be a stickler for that. As long as you know it's the folder for my class. Check that. And then if you want to be even more organized, if you want right now, you can just move this slide here and you'll have one folder with all of your English work just thrown in there. But if you want to be a bit more organized, and what I would do, I would make one more folder and just call it your Quickwrite journal. And then move here. And then you should have your English class folder set up and you should have that saved. So that way you can get to it each and every day that we do a Quickwrite in class. So just to double check, open up your Google Drive. There it is, English Mr. Barker 2020. Open that up. Quickwrite journal, open that up. And there she is. Cool. So at this stage of the game, guys and gals, you should have your name, my name, the class period that you have me, 2020 through 21. All of this stuff should look just like this, still black and white, still in these same spots. And you should now have your own cool personalized background that kind of reflects who you are and what you're into. All right, and that should be saved in a Google Drive folder that in some way, shape, or form reflects that it's for my class, Mr. Barker's class, English 2020. All right. So if you have any further questions about how to set up your cover page, how to save it to Google Drive, maybe ask a neighbor sitting next to you, or raise your hand, ask me during class, or shoot me an email. Come see me before class, see me after class. Let me know if you have a question. Okay. If not, We're good to move on to the next thing.